The Johnny Depp victory in his defamation trial against Amber Heard has captured the attention of the public, especially men who've separated from their children's mother and then have been falsely accused for legal advantage in custody proceedings. Victims of defamation have long complained that an allegation doesn't have to be true to permanently ruin a person's reputation, status in the community, business or professional career, and even his life. Johnny Depp's legal victory strikes a blow against cancel culture, guilt by allegation, and the absolute power of the false accusation. Admittedly, Depp's wealth gave him the opportunity to clear his name because he had the means to file a claim in civil court, an avenue that isn't always readily available to middle to low income victims of false allegations of abuse. However, his successful lawsuit and its media attention has now forever taught men and women that there's a remedy against false allegations in civil court which can vindicate an otherwise devastated victim of defamation. So what is defamation? Defamation is a statement that injures a third party's reputation. The claim of defamation includes both libel, written statements, and slander, spoken statements. To prove the elements of defamation, a plaintiff must show 4 things. Number 1, a false statement purporting to be fact. Number 2, publication or communication of that statement to a third person. 3, fault amounting to at least negligence. And 4, damages or some harm caused to the person or entity who is the subject of the statement. What is the burden of proof of a defamation claim? Most states assume that a speaker who defames another has the requisite guilty state of mind. If the subject of a defamatory statement is a layperson or non-public figure, the plaintiff only needs to prove that the defendant was at least negligent. For a public figure to succeed, like Johnny Depp, he must show that the defamatory statement was said with actual malice. That is, with the knowledge that the statement was false or with reckless disregard of its accuracy. The public figure must prove actual malice by clear and convincing evidence rather than the usual burden of proof in a civil case, which is merely preponderance of evidence standard. Truth is widely accepted as a complete defense to all defamation claims. An absolute privilege is also a defense in defamation, which includes statements made by witnesses during judicial proceedings. In the defamation context, a qualified privilege permits someone to make a statement that would typically be considered defamatory, but because of particular circumstances, the statement would not be considered defamatory. However, if the statement is made with actual malice, then the speaker isn't entitled to the qualified privilege. This includes statements made during legislative proceedings. The Depp jury found that he proved all these elements and carried his burden of proof, leading to the verdict and award, and this helps pave the road for future victims of defamation. The Me Too movement has generally been a positive movement which has empowered victims of workplace sexual harassment and domestic violence to come forward with the confidence that their truthful allegations will be believed. However, every good thing can be abused, as unscrupulous family law litigators and scorned lovers can use false allegations or even the threat of false allegations as means to hurt, control, or take revenge. The Johnny Depp verdict and public trial demonstrated that every allegation shouldn't be blindly believed. Every accused should have due process through his actual day in court rather than guilt merely by accusation in the court of public opinion. To an innocent man who depends upon his reputation for his livelihood, self-respect, and happiness, such injury from false accusation can be just as serious as physical abuse, if not more. A defamation case is a civil claim available to victims of false allegations or parental alienation, and victims owe a debt of gratitude to Johnny Depp and his courage in raising awareness of this remedy for victims.